Biotech company 23andMe is at the center of a massive nationwide lawsuit right now. Colorado has now joined 26 other states in an effort to stop the company from selling personal genetic information after filing for bankruptcy. We're joined by 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor to learn more about the lawsuit. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, good to be here.
It.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the practical fear related to our genetic data being sold?
Well, as we were just talking about, as I was doing the research, I would have never expected some of the concerns that the plaintiffs have raised in this case. So as it relates to, say, employment, for example, if an employer has your genetic information and it shows that you have a gene for a disease or certain health issues, employers can discriminate. And there's laws across the nation protecting employers and or employees in that capacity. So that's one concern. But another concern is if there's a bad actor, someone who wants to act nefariously and get this data related to certain ancestry. So, for example, in 2023, they had a data breach, and it was the Jewish and Chinese clients that were really concerned because there were people trying to obtain these lists with that data. So asking for, the Jewish ancestry and the Chinese ancestry and, to do some harm. And right now, anti-Semitism is at an all-time high. So somebody who wants to try and exterminate Jewish people would take this list and be able to act on it.
Well, it's taking it to a whole new level because for me, like you said, what do you think the scare is behind this? And I'm like, well, I just don't like I don't want my retinas scanned for the airport. I just don't like my personal information being out there. I don't really know what they could do with it, but still it freaks me out.
Yeah, it's a legitimate concern, and the notion of privacy is really gone because, so many things when we click online and we give permission, so much information is shared without our knowledge, and there's so much with technology, the advance of technology, everything's being recorded. So that's why there's this push to really increase privacy laws, because there are a lot of entities with this information that they could do something very bad with it. And so we're trying to, kind of up these privacy laws. And that's really what the concern is here, because they're in this bankruptcy proceeding.
Right.
And there's a pharmacy company that wants to buy them for $256 million, including the genetic information. And so there's about 15 million customers, and they're saying, wait a second, we didn't give our express consent, which was the agreement with 23andMe when they first signed up. It says, we won't share your information unless you give consent. And the argument is we didn't give consent.
So we know that Colorado joined in with this 26 other states in part of this lawsuit. Do you think that's going to have some problems with the bankruptcy and the information with the company?
No, I think actually this is all related to the bankruptcy. So what happened was earlier this year, 23andMe filed the bankruptcy, and then as part of the bankruptcy proceedings, they had this potential buyer. So now these plaintiffs have come in and they've actually filed in the bankruptcy court. So they didn't start a new filing, and so they're asking for what's called a declaratory judgment. They're saying, hey, court, come in and tell us and issue an order that they can't sell this information. Mm-hmm. And so they've also filed a number of different motions. So there's a hearing coming up to decide some of these issues, and the court actually appointed an ombudsman. I forgot what they call it. Yes, thank you.
I got you.
Thank you. Great. I just made the blooper reel. So yeah, they appointed someone to take a look and see how this would affect consumer privacy and if it was a violation. So that report actually was supposed to come out yesterday. I haven't seen if it came out.
Okay, so there is a hearing that's coming up next week.
Yeah.
What do we expect to see from that?
Yeah, so we're going to see, presumably the report's going to come out, and they're going to have argument on why this sale should not go forward and the information should be protected. I don't know if the judge will rule on this next week, but this is really, I know 15 million people isn't, super significant, but this is really an important issue because so many different entities have some form of our genetic information. And so one of the other concerns about this is that it can go forward with respect to your lineage, and they can take action even based on that. And so the plaintiffs are saying, look, this could go on forever because these are our immutable characteristics as it relates to our genetic information. So this has real serious consequences.
Yeah, it's wild. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, Whitney, thank you so much for coming in.